Have you ever stopped to think that the words that come out of your mouth have the power to shape your destiny? What if I told you that, without even realizing it, you might be either sabotaging or building your own life with each sentence you speak? In this video, we're going to explore one of the most powerful and underrated forces you have at your disposal: the power of words. We're talking about a resource that, according to Scripture, has the potential to bring life or death, to build or destroy. Think about how many times a positive word lifted your spirit, and how many times a negative word brought you down. It's as if our speech is a weapon, and the choice to use it for good or harm lies in our hands every day. Often, in the quest for prosperity and personal growth, we forget to consider something as simple and essential as the way we speak. But the truth is that positive confession, faith in action, and the spiritual influence we carry in our words are powerful tools for transforming life. And here, we're going beyond surface-level motivation. We'll discover how the Bible guides us in this path, using principles that have stood the test of time, with examples you can apply today. So, if you want to understand how to transform your reality and discover what it really means to use the power of words to achieve a life of abundance and purpose, stick with me until the end. Together, we'll uncover how each word can be a seed you plant to reap a full and fulfilled life. The words that come out of our mouths carry a weight that we often underestimate. The Bible reminds us in Proverbs 18 verse 21 that the power of life and death is in the tongue. This isn't just a distant metaphor, it's a truth applied to everyday life. Words can build or destroy, uplift or ruin. Think about how a simple compliment can change someone's day, or conversely, how a harsh criticism can crumble even the strongest emotional walls. So the initial reflection is simple. If we have the power to influence lives through words, what choices are we making? Now, many may wonder, but how do I really speak according to God's will? This path begins when we choose for our words to be instruments for good, to promote growth and harmony. Imagine that every time you speak to someone, you're sowing something in their life. With words, you can plant peace, motivation, and love. But of course, this requires constant attention and a genuine desire to align your speech with divine purpose. For this, we don't need a supernatural effort, just an active awareness of the impact of each word. This impact also extends to our own lives, as what we say has the power to shape who we are. Think of someone who constantly voices negativity. Gradually, they get tangled in a web of discouragement they created. On the other hand, those who choose positive confession are surrounded by a cycle of self-confidence and hope. It's like throwing an anchor in turbulent waters. Each word becomes a point of steadiness, helping maintain calm amid the storms. True faith manifests in actions, and some of the most powerful stories in the Bible illustrate this truth. A clear example is the story of David and Goliath. A young shepherd without war experience faces the greatest warrior of the Philistines, not with physical strength, but with the power of his confession and his faith. Instead of succumbing to fear, David declares his victory before the battle even begins. He knew that his words, aligned with trust in God, would be his greatest shield. This is a profound lesson for any of us. Sometimes our stance and our words of faith speak louder than any visible action. But how can we practically apply this mountain-moving faith in our daily lives? A simple way is to start with small declarations of victory, even before seeing results. If you have a challenge at work or a difficult situation at home, instead of being overcome by anxiety, declare with faith that you will be guided and that you will overcome. This isn't passive. It's an active and courageous act of putting faith into motion, creating strength even in moments of silence, knowing that your confidence is already shaping the course of things. This act of speaking with faith also reveals the value of silence. When we face obstacles, we don't always need to shout to be heard. Our silent confidence can be as powerful. In moments of doubt or conflict, a heart full of faith and action knows when to speak and when to stay silent. Like a warrior who chooses their battles, a person of faith knows that each spoken word should be filled with purpose, leaving space for God to act where our voice cannot reach. Transforming the power of words into a positive force requires practice and intention. One of the first habits a person can adopt is daily meditation on Scripture. Starting the day with a Bible passage not only feeds the mind with wisdom but also strengthens the soul with words that carry purpose. For example, meditating on verses like Philippians 4 verse 8, which instructs us to think on things that are good, pure, and praiseworthy, helps shape the mind to see the best in situations and in those around us. This is the first step for positive words to flow naturally. Additionally, our surrounding environment plays a crucial role in how we speak. When we surround ourselves with people and content that promote peace and inspiration, our speech transforms. Imagine having friendships that encourage growth and new possibilities instead of criticism or complaints. In such an environment, positive confession becomes a natural choice, as we are continually exposed to examples that uplift and challenge us to improve. A good practice is to identify inspiring people and content, maybe books, podcasts, or spiritual support groups, and bring them into daily life. And of course, none of this holds without self-control. Guarding the tongue and choosing wisely what to say is a daily exercise. In moments of anger, for example, a simple pause can save us from words that would bring regret. Practicing silence in these moments is like a spiritual exercise. It's telling yourself that peace is worth more than a temporary victory in an argument. The next time you feel the urge to respond instantly, try taking a deep breath, wait a few seconds, and notice how self-control can transform the situation. Every word we utter carries responsibility, and those who understand this see life from a different perspective. Imagine that your words are seeds that, when cast, can grow into forms of hope or discouragement in others' hearts. When we choose our words carefully, we're actually positively influencing the world around us. In moments of anger or frustration, silence can be a tool of peace, preserving relationships and avoiding unnecessary conflicts. True strength isn't in saying everything that comes to mind but in knowing when to remain silent and choosing the right moment to plant hope. This responsibility extends to every interaction, whether at home, work, or online. Often, without realizing it, we may hurt those around us with an impulsive comment. However, when we become aware of the impact of our words, our speech becomes a source of inspiration. Something as simple as "you've got this" or "I'm here to support you" can make a huge difference in someone's life. To practice this, observe your words throughout the day, and whenever you feel the impulse to respond impulsively, stop and ask yourself, will this bring peace or discord? Moreover, this responsibility over our words leads us to reflect on how we influence those who watch us. We are a living example of the power of word and silence, and often our attitude in moments of conflict speaks louder than any speech. The choice to influence positively, even without words, brings us closer to what we are called to be, agents of peace and wisdom. Thus, each word, each silence becomes an opportunity to impact the world with the power of faith and transformation. The Bible is rich with teachings that warn us about the weight of our words, and some verses are especially profound when we think about the eternal consequences of everything we say. In Proverbs 18 verse 21, we read that the tongue holds the power of life and death, a direct truth that makes us reflect on the seriousness of each word we pronounce. This verse prompts us to ask, are we using our words to bring life or to cause destruction? From this reflection, we understand that the scriptures don't merely advise us but invite us to turn our speech into a source of blessings. Additionally, in Matthew 12 verses 36 to 37, Jesus reminds us that every idle word will be accounted for on the day of judgment. This teaching may seem stern, but it reveals an essential truth. Everything we say has a lasting effect, and therefore we are responsible for our words. Knowing this is a call to seek more wisdom before expressing what we think. A simple practice would be to reflect before speaking, imagining the impact of our words as seeds that will flourish. To put this into practice, think of a biblical affirmation to use in your routine. Something like, "God is my refuge and strength," or "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." These verses, then, not only provide guidance but offer a path of life transformation through words. When we practice what the Bible teaches us, our words begin to reflect God's presence in our lives, and without even realizing it, we start to influence the environment around us. Each day, we begin to experience the power of biblical affirmations, allowing positive confession to become a reflection of our beliefs. This becomes a self-sustaining cycle, opening doors to a life of abundance and renewed faith. We arrive at the most profound point of this entire reflection, understanding that each word we choose is not just a sound or a breath, but a powerful force that shapes the present and future. Imagine that your life is like a vast garden, and your words are the seeds you plant every day. Every "I can't" is a weed that grows and stifles your progress, while each "I am" capable is a flower that takes root, blooms, and expands. Right now, think of a positive word or phrase you can choose to plant in your life and start using it. Write your first seed of faith, something you can repeat and believe in. This realization brings us to a deeper understanding of spiritual responsibility. It's not just about self-control but about influencing our own destiny and that of those around us. And from the moment we understand this power, every word, every silence becomes a conscious choice to generate life, faith, and transformation. This is the true secret to a life of abundance. An attitude that combines positive confession and faith in action, knowing that what we plant with our speech, we will reap in fruits of peace, prosperity, and purpose. So, the essential question is, what will you start planting today? May your words be like seeds of a new destiny, guided by spiritual influence that leads you to act with wisdom and purpose. Let every sentence reflect inner transformation, creating a cycle that nurtures the present and prepares a future of fulfillment. Now that you understand the transformative power of words, the responsibility to use them wisely becomes even clearer, doesn't it? Every time we speak, we have the chance to plant seeds of life, faith, and transformation. So, what will you choose to plant from today forward? Perhaps the next step is to reflect on the words that have come out of your mouth and make a conscious choice to speak what builds up, brings hope, and promotes a future of prosperity and abundance. Think about it. What words have you been using to define your life and relationships? Are they aligned with the spiritual influence and positive confession you want to manifest? This is the moment to transform your speech, to use the power of your words as an ally, shaping your destiny with biblical affirmations and faith-driven actions. If you apply these principles today, imagine the impact it could have on every area of your life. If this content brought value to you and you want to continue on this journey of learning and transformation, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way you won't miss any content that can help you build the life you desire. And remember, every word counts, so make each one matter.